Oh, follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Some people say that I have no brains, but they don't really know that I just have no courage. It's a lifelong problem. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a sneak peek preview at the upcoming Echoes of Oz event that's coming to Raid Shadow Legends mañana por la mañana, also known as tomorrow. I thought we'd take a quick look at it and see what's waiting in store for us. Fantastico! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen of the tribe, to another Raid Shadow Legends video with me, your boy Scribe. How the devil are we all doing? I hope we are doing fantastic. Before we jump into the upcoming update collab crossover event that features the wonderful Wizard of Oz universe, let's talk a little bit about what waits brand new players if you sign up with my QR code or the link in the description down below. First of all, make sure you sign out of your Plarium Play account. Use my QR code or click the link in the description and sign up with a brand new email account. Played through the tutorial of Raid, and once you have completed that prologue, ladies and gentlemen, every single player will have their brand new Stultus Dragonbane in their account, just sitting nice and peacefully within their inventory mailbox, absolutely free. This legendary defensive champion is absolutely dope, and he's wearing some cool looking armor to boot. This guy has still got masses of viability even in the current climate. I wish I had him myself, do not have him unlocked, but you will be able to use him for absolutely free. Not only will you get Stultus Dragonbane, ladies and gentlemen, but every 10 levels on your account, from level 10 to level 30, you will be gaining an epic unit to your roster for each and every 10 levels. At level 10, you will be getting the rather wonderful and dashing Stag Knight. This guy is so useful in many game modes. He's great in things like Iron Twins, great in things like the Spider, great in the Clan Boss. This guy is all about that debuff action, ladies and gentlemen, able to decrease speed on a basic. A2 over here is able to decrease defense and decrease attack, and he's got a rather useful passive that will increase the accuracy on your allies if they fail to land those debuffs. Very clutch individual is the wonderful Stag Knight. Coming up next at level 20, you are going to be getting the epic support unit Ugo. This guy is going to be your heals, your survivability, as well as your reviver. A very useful passive in Final Smite that means that if he is the last unit surviving on the team at that time, he's going to gain 30% additional speed, and he's going to gain a block damage buff. Not only that, he will then have this Ugo's Brew. This A3 over here, if all of his allies are dead, it's going to result in a mass revive with 50% hit points and 50% turn meter gained. Really useful. His A2 over here is able to decrease defense and place block buffs debuff on the enemy, and then his basic can place leech on the enemy, so you can start getting some of that passive, or kind of semi-active I suppose, healing through that leech ability. Once you have reached the level of 30 on your accounts, you will be going ahead and getting yourselves a rather wonderful Fatakin the Fat. I mean, I think it's a little bit sizist to call him fat. I mean, he's portly. Is that any better? I don't really know. Anyway, this guy, rather useful in being able to place not only HP burn, but also improved poison debuffs on the enemy. A decent and solid attacker with some really good synergy, able to increase crit damage and crit chance, and pairs rather nicely with the additional unit that I do recommend people use when they are going to use their promo codes. Enter in the code Super Victory, which is like a normal victory, but kind of super, and that's going to give you a rather wonderful legendary unit in Pelops the Victor. I love this guy. He's the sole reason I was able to get through all of the campaigns up to Nightmare 3-star, Kaput, Weddy finished, Abergavenny, all the way through on my main account within the first 2 weeks. This guy is able to, one, be a really phenomenal tank with his active taunt ability, but also keep his allies alive with a Magna Guard, as well as put that shield up, which is going to put HP burn on the enemy. He can also do things like decrease attack, as well as petrify and stun and steal buffs. Generally speaking, he's just kind of dope. Looks sick as well. So that is the setup that I do recommend all the new players go through. Use that promo code, use my link, download the game, and in the first 2 weeks, you guys are going to be slaying face. Now then, let's talk about the new upcoming event that is starting tomorrow, Echoes of Oz. So, Raid Shadow Legends' own YouTube channel put out this sneak peek preview of the upcoming event Echoes of Oz, showing off some rather nice new animations with Dorothy Gale, and confirming that the date is going to be from tomorrow excuse me, from tomorrow until November. We get to hear a little bit about the units, which will probably come as no surprise to most people, as most people are aware, kind of to a slight degree, what units will be involved with a Wizard of Oz crossover. Namely, you're going to be having Isilda here is kind of like the new antagonist. She's supposedly going to be like the apprentice of the original Wicked Witch. Saw her Wicked Witch get perished by the hands of Dorothy Gale and her compatriots and is out for revenge. So starting tomorrow, we are getting Dorothy Gale, 7-day login, we're getting the Scarecrow, the Tin Woodman, and the Cowardly Lion, as well as Isilda the Wicked eventually. So what we do know is that Dorothy Gale is that 7-day login, and the Cowardly Lion is going to be a mixed fusion event. We are also getting a rather wonderful event dungeon, which is going to feature additional tournaments and a rewards calendar to boot. Looks like our Bastion is getting a complete makeover to look like the Emerald City from The Wizard of Oz. I mean, it's nice to mix things up every so often, I guess. You know, I've seen this happen 2 or 3 times in my time playing Raid, I believe, where we just have like a different background, shakes things up. Look at Toto over there. I have a Yorkshire Terrier as a dog. His name is Milo, not quite as well groomed as this one. But here you go. Dorothy Chase, August 19th till November 19th. Make sure you get there as early as possible so you can try and max out both phases of that chase event, be able to get those perfect stars and all that good business, as well as the additional gear. And looks like I can get Primal Shard as well. I really want the Primal Shard. Still waiting on getting my very first mythic unit, unfortunately. People at Plarium don't seem to care about my desire of wanting to have a mythical unit, so I will take each and every Primal Shard that I can get. We get a little bit of insight here into how the team might perform going forward. We're only really seeing... Oh, actually, she's just on her own there. You can see it here with Tin Man, Scarecrow, and Cowardly Lion. Supposedly, they're going to work quite well together. We know for a fact that... that Dorothy has got some additional benefits to her kit when she's got her Oz companions there. And we can see the event dungeon is also going live tomorrow. So I imagine this event dungeon is going to be pretty hard. Looks like we're getting a chronophage set with it, which isn't too bad, gives us extra resistance and extra speed. And it looks like there are challenges up to stage 35, which I will absolutely not be able to beat, but they will have first time rewards for anybody that can do it. Not too shabby at all. What else can we expect from this, I wonder? Yes, there's the Cowardly Lions event. The fusion event is starting tomorrow. So it's going to be a mixed fusion event. There's going to be some things that we need to get with fragments, probably the underlying epic champions in order to fuse up into him. And some things are going to be just like a normal fusion event, I guess. Looks like he's going to be dope inside of the Hydra. Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Isilda, they said these will be available through various events over the next coming months up until the end of November, which is the whole sort of period of this Oz event bonanza, fiasco, not fiasco, I'm sure. Now, Champion Proving Grounds. I didn't do a video covering Champion Proving Grounds because I'm just not great at the game at the moment. My roster is developing. I've been playing for a couple of months now, and it's so hard to even beat the first tier of the missions, even when I've got, several level 60 characters and MacBook characters and decent enough equipment on them. It's very difficult for me to get through those events. Looks like we are going to be getting some additional cosmetic stuff, as well as little Toto emblem over here. I mean, who doesn't like a good little Yogo emblem? I know I want some. So, special gift, apparently if you collect all of the champions of the upcoming Oz series, which includes Isilda, not just the good guys, as it were, you get Isilda as well. There is going to be something extra. I think they did something like this with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover event when that was a thing, but I'm not entirely sure if that was the case. If anybody was here around for that and managed to get all of the turtles, can you tell me what was the actual extra juicy Brucey bonus? Because I don't know what to expect from it in reality. Now, it does look like we have got some of the kit reveals as well for like Tin Woodman, so I'm just going to have a quick read through over here. This is on the Hell Hades website. So his A1 or basic hewing axe. We're missing an E. I don't know if that's part of the game or not. Or is that an Americanized thing? I have no idea. Heal this champion by 15% of their max hit points, and you can get an extra 10% heal and more damage. That's not too bad, I guess nothing special. Fell It Now attacks one enemy, it inflicts 100% more damage and ignores 10% defense for each buff on the champion, then directs all allies to team up and attack the same target. I like that. Allies joining this attack will use their default skills, increase the damage inflicted by allies teaming up with this target. and ignore the defense effect by 5%. 10% for Dorothy Gale, Tin Woodman, Scarecrow, and Carried Lion for each buff on this champion. That's kind of dope. Reset the cooldown on the Lumber Machine, which is a 3 if the skill's target is killed. And you've got extra damage over here, and you can reduce the cooldown to 4. That Fell It Now is pretty dope. I do like all ally assists, but you've got a cooldown reset as well. That's kind of cool. Lumber Machine, that A3 attacks all enemies before attacking, places a 30% increased crit damage buff and a 15% shatter buff on all allies for 2 turns, ignores 5% of the target's defense for each buff on the champion, places a revive on death buff on this champion for 1 turn if this attack kills an enemy. That's kind of cool, and you can bring the cooldown down to 3 if you fully book him. So it's kind of a little bit, it's kind of, you know, yeah, sure, if you get the kill here, you reset the cooldown. It would be nice if, like, a kill with this ability resets the cooldown on Fell It Now, so you could, like, chain back to back, but you know, whatever, we'll take the revive on death, that's still good. True Heart as a passive decreases the damage of all allies received by 15%, doubled essentially for the Oz companions. This champion receives that damage instead, so he's going to be taking or splitting that damage to himself. If the damage this way exceeds 50% of his max hit points, then place a revive on death buff for this champion for 2 turns. So he's got a lot of revive on death. If the damage received in this way exceeds 50% of the champion's max hit point, it activates the Hewing Axe skill against the enemy with the lowest hit points. I think is that his basic? Yeah, so he'll do a basic essentially if he gets dropped below 50%. If there are multiple champions on the same team with this skill, only one will activate, yada yada yada. Whenever this champion receives damage via this skill, increase the champion's defense by 10%, stacks up to 100%. Not too bad. Looks like primary damage dealer perhaps, as well as a little bit of call to assist, a little bit of tech there with the revive mechanics. Not too bad. We've got the Scarecrow coming up next. Crow Hunter in the basic. First hit has a 50% chance of placing a 50% decreased resistance debuff for 2 turns. Second hit has a 50% chance of placing a 50% decreased accuracy debuff for 2 turns. Debuffs cannot be resisted if any ally, including this champion, has been killed at least once during the battle. Interesting, because obviously that pairs with the Tin Man, who's going to be placing those revives on death. Increase those debuff chances to 75%. It's okay for a basic, I guess. It's a two-hitter. A2 then, Smart Thinking, decreases the cooldowns of all ally skills except this champion by 1 turn. Okay, cool. Places 50% increased resistance buff and a 50% increased accuracy buff. I like this, and you could put it on a 3-turn cooldown if you book it up. That's really useful. That is really useful. All Stitched Up revives an ally with 50% hit points and 50% turn meter, places a block damage buff on that ally for 2 turns. Also places a 25% fortify buff on all allies for 2 turns, and you can bring the cooldown down to 4. So it's just one ally, 50% health, 50% turn meter, but block damage on them as well is really, really handy. And then you'll be able to decrease their cooldowns with Smart Thinking. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. I like it. His passive is True Brains. Whenever this champion is killed, revives them with 50% health and 50% turn meter, then removes all debuffs from all allies. Whenever he's killed? Every time? Every single time he's killed, he's going to revive. This champion becomes immune to Fear, True Fear, Provoke, and Petrification debuffs if an ally, including this champion, has been killed at least once during this battle. It's kind of cool. Oh, right, it's got a cooldown. It's got a cooldown of 4. But at level 2, you can get it to a cooldown of 3. That's actually a really cool ability. I like that. So, all in all, ladies and gentlemen, these kits are looking to shape up to be quite good. I'm excited to see how the event falls out tomorrow. Check out that event dungeon. For anything else related to Raid, do please give me a like, a subscribe if you haven't already, and follow the channel. I will see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and big love.